There we are. I'm just going to mute you all. You're not going to be able to see me. What's going on? Okay, so we start with legs crossed. Nice tall spine, reach the top of the head to the ceiling. Pulling the belly in, big in breath, hands on the knees. We're going to pull the chest up nice and high. Take a nice big breath and then you're just going to sigh. Just exhaling, releasing any tension. Big breath in. And as you exhale, just sigh, let your shoulders relax. We're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, looking down towards the floor. And then we're just going to roll the head over to the left. And then we're just going to tilt our gaze down towards the floor on the left. And just relax the head back to center. We're going to do the same on the right. Just drop your head down to the right. And then just tilt your head so we're looking down towards the floor. And bring the head back to center. So what we're going to do first is pop the left hand out towards the left of it, soft bend in the elbow. We're going to make sure that the chest stayed up nice and high. We're going to take the right hand overhead. Our aim is to push our right hand and our right hip away from each other. So you're going to try and create some space between your ribs. Really keep that right hip down, chest up high. Really trying to expand the rib cage as you inhale, to have a stretch. And then we're just going to relax that hand down, come back up to sitting nice and slow. We're going to do a little wiggle. And then we're going to go on the right side. So hand out, soft bend in that elbow. Keeping the left hip pinned down towards the floor, we're going to push the left hand over. Again, keeping the chest up nice and high. Nice big inhale. Really stretch out your stomach, stretch out your chest, your back. And relax the hand back down, come back up to sitting, do a little wiggle. Okay, so we're going to interlock the hands together, palms facing together behind the lower back. Straighten the arms down, lift up the chest nice and high. Really try to make the spine as long as you can, so keeping the tip of the head to the ceiling, keeping the chest up high, arms nice and straight. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can pull the hands away from the lower back. And just relax the hands back down, release the hands. This time we're going to interlock the hands in front of us, palms facing away. And then we're just going to push the palms away from us, round in the upper back, pushing the shoulder blades away from each other. Again, using your breath to help you stretch out your back. And just relax the hands down. We're going to come forward on the hands and the knees. So we're going to stack our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. We're going to separate your fingers as much as you can, index finger pointing forward. And then we're just going to tilt the shoulders, we're just pushing the shoulders over the fingertips forward, and then we're just going to rock side to side. So you're going to go from left, right forward, over to the right, and back round. Stretch out the hands and forearm. Really feel like you're pushing each fingertip into the ground. We're going to do 2 more. And then come back to center. So again, knees are under your hips, hands under your shoulders. What we're going to do is take the left hand off. We're going to pop the back of the left hand on the floor, separating the fingers as much as we can. And I'm slowly going to straighten out that arm, wrapping the elbow under, so the crease of your elbow should be pointing forward. Keeping all your fingers down. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can sit back slightly. Just making that angle between your hand and your forearm a little smaller. And come back, slowly peel the hand off. And then we're just going to do the same on the right side. So taking the back of the right hand down. Keeping your fingers and your thumb down on the ground. Wrapping the elbow forward. The crease of the elbow should be pointing that way. And again, you can do a small motion of sitting back if you want that angle a little bit smaller, just to get a bit of a deeper stretch. And relax that hand back down. What we're going to do now is sit back onto the heels. Hands out in front of you, coming into child's pose. You really want to crawl your fingertips along the floor. Separate your knees slightly so you've got a little bit of room for your chest to come between your knees. Nice big breath. What we're going to do now is keeping your hands where they are. We're just going to come up onto the fingertips. So we've got a bit of space between our arms and the floor. We've got a little bit of space. We can push our chest down towards the ground just a little bit more. Really stretch and relax your triceps. Keeping up on your fingertips, we're going to take the right hand. We're just going to thread it under the left arm. Dropping the shoulder down towards the ground. We're going to try and peek under this left arm. Big breath into the belly. One more breath. And as you exhale, come back to center. And then we're just going to swap sides. We're just going to take the left hand under the right. Twist in the belly button, try and peek under that right arm. Drop the head down. One more breath. And relax, come back to center. We're going to come back up onto the hands and the knees. Again, resetting the hands and the knees, making sure they're under the hips and under the shoulders. We're just going to do cat-cow. So as we inhale, we're going to drop the belly down towards the ground, lift up the chest, looking forward. And then as we exhale, we're going to pull the belly up, tuck the tailbone under, and push the shoulder blades away from each other. So really trying to round the back. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift up the chest, looking forward. And exhale, pull the belly up, tuck the tailbone under, push the shoulders away. Last one, inhale, belly down, lift up the chest, looking forward. And exhale, round the back. Good, bring the spine back to center. What we're going to do now is pull the left foot towards the bum. We're going to try and lock that in. So we're going to try and keep this foot as close to the bum as you can. We're going to take the left knee off the ground. We're going to touch it towards the left elbow. Take it out towards the left, towards the back, back down onto the floor. We're going to do that again, so we're going to take it out towards the left elbow, out towards the left, towards the back, and back down towards the ground. Now we're going to make it into a circle, so we're going to go 2 circles coming forward, keeping that foot nice and close to the bum, and then 2 circles going backwards. Trying to get as much range of motion as you can. We're going to pop the left leg out towards the left, straightening it, dropping the heel down towards the ground and your toes. We want to keep our hips up kind of high. We don't want to be sitting back onto our heels too much. And then what we're going to do is externally rotate the leg so our toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. If it's more comfortable, you can come up onto the fists, save your wrists a little bit. And we're going to drop the toes back forward. We're going to repeat this a couple of times, so toes up towards the ceiling. And back forward. And last one, toes up. And back forward. So bracing yourself on the floor, you can take a little bit of a wider step with your hands. What we're going to do now is take the leg off the floor and we're going to pulse it 5 times. So when you're ready, coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop it down. You might get a little bit crampy doing this, it's fine. And then what we're going to do now is hold it for 5 seconds in the top. So when you're ready, coming up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, bend that knee, bring it back. Okay, so we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to pull the right heel towards the bum. Take it to the knee towards the right elbow. Out towards the right. Towards the back. Back in. We're going to make sure that our foot is nice and close to the bum at all times. We're going to go again out towards the right elbow. Out towards the right. Towards the back of the room. Back down. So we're going to make it into a circle, so 2 circles coming forward. And 2 circles going backwards. Trying to do as big circles as you can. And when you've done that, rest your knee down. We're going to pop the right leg out this time, making sure the heel and the toes are on the floor. And then we're going to work on external rotation, so we're going to turn the toes up towards the ceiling. Good, drop it back forward. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So coming up, toes up. And back forward. And last one, toes up towards the ceiling. And back forward. Again, we're going to take a little bit of a wide step with the hands. Bracing ourselves on the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to pulse the leg 5 times off the floor, coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dropping it down. Relax the hip a little. Again, don't worry if you get cramp. Then we'll try to work through it. This time we're going to hold for 5 seconds in the top. So coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee back down. Have your feet touching, knees separate, coming into child's pose. And we're just going to rock the hips side to side. Just trying to relax them a little bit. Okay, inhale, come back up onto the hands and the knees. So what we're going to do is take the knees out to step, separate them, and then we're going to turn the feet to face outwards, so our toes are facing out. It's up to you here. You can either stay on your hands, you can come up onto your fists, so if you want to, you can come down onto the elbows, onto the forearms. I find this a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to try and focus on keeping our hips as square as we can. So we don't want a lot of hip movement. We don't want to make sure that we're lifting our left ankle off the floor. We'll feel a contraction in that left glute and then relax it back down. So we're working on external rotation of the hips here. So when you're ready, we're going to do 10 reps on the left leg, coming up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we're going to do the same on the right hand side. So keeping your hips nice and square, keeping the knee down. We're just going to lift the ankle off the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, relax. We're going to come back up onto the hands, run your elbows, and what we're going to do now is like we did in cat-cow, rounding the back and arching the back. We're going to do the same thing. So as we inhale, you're going to arch the back, push your belly down towards the ground, and then we're slowly going to sit the hips back towards the heels, nice gentle movements. And rock forward slightly. Now we're going to arch the back, so we're going to tuck the tailbone under this time. And then we're slowly going to sit back. You should feel the stretch become a lot different between these two postures. And rock forward. And we're going to do that again. So we're going to arch the back. Slowly sit the hips back towards the heels. Only come to wherever's comfortable. We don't want to get in agony. Come forward. And then we're going to tuck the tailbone under and sit back again. And rock forward. We're going to meet the feet, bring the knees back together. So we're back on our hands and our knees. This time we're going to take a left foot forward next to the hands. And we're just going to come up into a dropped lunge. So what I want to do here is tuck your pelvis under, keeping your core nice and tight. Automatically by doing that, we're engaging the right glute. You should feel the pressure in that hip flexor there, just by tucking the hips under. If you don't, you can slightly lean the hips forward. Just keeping that right glute engaged, tucking the hips under. And relax. Keeping the right knee where it is, we're just going to walk the left foot out. Pull the toes back towards you. And then slowly going to bend forward over the straight leg and come up onto the fingertips. The leg doesn't have to be completely straight here. As long as you can feel the stretch in the hamstring and the calf, then it's fine. What I want you to do is pop the hands down onto the floor more than anything, so you can rest your upper body. Our aim is to try and keep the spine nice and straight. So you want to feel like you're pushing your belly down onto your thigh rather than letting your back round. So if that means bringing your knee into more of a bend, then that's fine. So keep them on your hands and your front foot where it is. We're just going to bend into that front knee, letting the hips drop between the legs. Keeping the hands down again, you can come onto the fists if it's more comfortable. If you want to have a bit of a deeper stretch, you can contract the right glute by pushing the hips down towards the ground. So you get a little bit more of a stretch in that hip flexor on that right side. Keeping your feet where they are, we're just going to lift up the hips, walk the hands back in, try and straighten out this front leg again. And this time we're going to activate the hamstring in a lengthened state. So what we're going to do is dig the heel down in towards the ground. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend back into that front knee. Let the hips drop between the legs again. We're going to lift up the hips, walk the hands back in, straighten that leg. And we're going to do this again. So we're going to dig the heel down in towards the ground, activating the hamstring, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend back into that front knee, hands onto the inside of the front foot. What we're going to do now is curl the back to under, lift up that back knee, and try and make sure that back leg is as straight as you can. I want you to twist on your back foot, dropping the heel down, and we're going to take the right hand up. Nice. We're just going to drop that hand back down, go back up onto the tiptoes of the back foot, and then we're going to take this front foot back into plank position. We're going to lower ourselves down, lift the chest off the ground, squeeze your hips into the floor. And we're going to make sure that the shoulders are nice and away from the ears. There's a lot of space between them. You can drop the head down to the left and over to the right. And we're just going to lift up the hips, coming back up into tabletop position. So we're going to repeat that on the right hand side. So we're going to take the right foot forward, coming into a drop lunge. Again, we're going to tuck the pelvis under. Engage the core, tense that left glute this time. And you should feel some pressure on the hip flex. If you don't, you can lean forward ever so slightly, but making sure that the hips are tucked under as much as you can. Hold in. And relax the hips. We're going to straighten up that front leg, pull that front foot forward, pull the toes back towards you, nice straight leg, and then slowly going to bend forward, popping the hands down onto the floor. If that knee bends slightly, then that's fine. Again, we don't want to be the back to be rounded too much. We don't feel like we're pulling our belly down, pushing our belly against that thigh. We're going to push the weight into that front foot, hands onto the inside of the leg. We're going to let the hips drop between the legs, pushing our hips down towards the ground. We're going to activate our left glute this time. Good, relax. Walking the hands back in, we're going to straighten that front leg back out. And then we're just going to dig the heel into the ground, activating the hamstring, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend back into that front knee. Again, push the hips down towards the ground, making sure this knee is nice and snug to the shoulder. We don't want it floating away. Good, we're going to lift up the hips, straighten that front leg back out. Last time, dig the heel into the ground, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend back into that front knee, hands onto the inside of the foot. We're going to curl the back to under, lift up that back knee. We're going to tense the quad, making sure the leg is nice and straight. And then we're just going to swivel on the back foot, dropping it sideways, taking up the left hand. Good. Drop the hand back down, swivel back up onto the tiptoes. Take this front foot back into plank position. Lower yourself down. Lift the chest off the floor, push your shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, we're going to lead with the hips, and we're going to go into downward facing dog. So take it in turns, pushing each heel into the ground. Maybe take time on each heel. Really trying to feel the stretch. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can just tuck one foot behind the other one, so it's got a little bit more weight on it. And then just swap legs. So just tuck in a foot behind. And relax and go without pedaling away. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the left leg up as high as you can. And then we're going to come up onto the tiptoes of the back foot and drop it back down. Keeping the leg up nice and high, coming up onto the tiptoes of the right foot and dropping it back down. We're going to swing the left foot forward by the hands. You need to pull the foot or control the foot, whatever's most comfortable. We're going to come up into a warrior one. We've got a nice bend in that front leg. Your back leg is nice and straight. Hips tucked under, nice and square. Take the hands overhead. We're going to roll the shoulder blades down the back and squeeze the palms together. We're going to make sure that the back is not arched and there's not a lot of gap between your hips and the bottom rib. What I want you to do now is to reach forward with the hands, popping the back leg up. And we're just going to drop the hands down towards the floor so our right foot's in the sky. Good. So we're just going to work on some stabilising work. So we're going to take the left hand up. And pop it back down. And we're going to take the right hand off the floor. And pop it back down. If you're feeling brave, we'll try and take the two hands off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the hands down. Keeping the hands where they are, we're just going to drop the back foot, bending this front knee. So our chest is over this front knee. Bending into the knee, lifting up the chest nice and high. Keeping that foot between the hands. As you inhale, really let the hips drop down, lifting up the chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to lift up the hips and try and straighten out that front leg. It doesn't matter if you don't move an awful lot, that's fine. Inhale, bend into that front knee, lift up the chest, looking forward. And then exhale, lift up the hips, try and straighten out that knee. Last one, bend into the front knee, lift up the chest, looking forward. And exhale, lift up the hips. Good, bending back into that front knee. We're just going to pop both hands onto the inside of that front foot. So now we've got the left knee on the left shoulder. We're going to drop the back knee down onto the floor, resting the foot. And then we're just going to push this front knee away. We're going to roll it back in. And then we're going to roll the knee away. Back in, nice and snug to the shoulder. Last one, roll the knee away. This time, keeping that knee away from you, I want you to take a step in with the right hand. So it's in the center of your chest is facing the floor. We're going to take the left hand up, keeping the knee away. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring this left elbow. We're going to try and bring it down towards the ground. It doesn't matter if you don't get there. That's just our in. Inhale, hand up. And exhale, elbow down. Inhale, hand up. Last one. And exhale, elbow down. Relax the hand back onto the floor. We're going to roll back onto that foot, tuck the toes under the back foot, lift up the back knee. Take the front foot back into plank position. Lower yourself down. Lift up the chest. Squeeze your hips into the floor, push shoulders away from the ears, big breath into the belly. And we're ready to go again on the other side. So we're going to curl the toes under, lift up the hips into downward facing dog. Pedal up the heels. And then with the right foot, we're going to take it up as high as you can. And then we're just going to come up onto the tiptoes of the left foot and then drop them back down. Coming up again on the tiptoes and dropping it back down. We're going to swing the right foot forward. You can either take a step, pull the foot forward, and we're going to come into warrior one on the right side. Nice. So nice soft bend in this front knee, back leg nice and straight. Keeping the hips nice and square forward. Taking the hands overhead, rolling the shoulder blades down the back, squeezing the palms together. Really driving that front heel into the ground, making sure the weight in both feet is quite even. And then we're going to reach forward, taking the back leg up. And then we're slowly going to drop the hands either side of this front leg. Keeping that back leg off the floor, we're just going to work on some balance again. So we're going to take the left hand off the floor. Good, put it back down. And we're going to take the right hand off the floor. Good, pop it down. And then if you're brave, you're going to take both hands off, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop the hands back down. We're going to drop that back leg, bending into this front knee. As you inhale, we're going to let the hips drop down, lift up the chest. Looking forward. As you exhale, we're going to lift up the hips, straighten out that front leg. Again, it doesn't have to be completely straight, as long as you can feel the stretch in that hamstring. Inhale, bend into that front knee, lift up the chest, looking forward. And exhale, lift up the hips, straighten up that front leg. Inhale, bend back into that front knee. And exhale, lift up the hips. Inhale, bend back into that front knee, and this time we're just going to pop the hands onto the inside of that front foot, keeping the right knee nice and snug to the shoulder. We're going to drop that back knee, relax the foot. And then we're just going to roll onto the outside of that front ankle, pushing the knee away. Roll it back in. And we're going to go again, push the knee away. Rolling it back in. And last time, push the knee away. We're going to take a step in with the left hand. So it's in the middle of the chest. Your chest is facing the floor. Take the right hand up. Big inhale into the belly. Pull the hand back. Now as you exhale, we're going to bring the elbow down towards the ground. Inhale, hand back up. Exhale, elbow down. Last one, inhale, hand up. And exhale, elbow down. Relax the hand back onto the floor. We're going to roll back onto the foot. Curl the back toes under, lift up that back knee so the leg is nice and straight. Taking this front foot back into plank position. Lowering your chest down towards the ground. Lift up the chest, squeeze the hips into the ground. And we're just going to lift up the hips and we're going to sit back into child's pose. So just relax, drop the head for a couple of breaths. Really try and stretch the upper back. One more breath. And then you're going to come back up to sitting. Just want to swing the legs around, so we're sitting on our bums. So keeping your knees bent, your feet are separate. Pop the hands just behind the lower back. And then we're going to drop both knees down towards the left. Just let them fall into whatever position is comfortable. Now we're going to move our knees over to the right, but I want you to lead with the right knee first. Keeping the knees as separate as you can, we're slowly going to let the left one follow. Just let them relax. We're going to go back over, leading with the left knee, keeping the knees as separate as you can, rolling over towards the left. And again, leading with the right knee, let the left one follow. Our last one, we're just going to drop both the knees over towards the left. We're going to sit up facing the left knee. What I want you to do now is to get your legs into a 90-degree position, each of them. So your left knee should be in line with your left ankle, sorry, should be in line with your front knee, and the same on your back leg. So they're both 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to start by working on some internal rotation strength. Popping the hands either side of that front knee. We're going to focus on lifting up this ankle as high as you can off the floor, and then releasing it back down. So we're going to do that 5 times. Coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax it back down. Then we're going to lean the chest forward slightly, popping the hands in front of the knee. And then we're going to work on external rotation of the back leg. So we're going to keep everything nice and still. Keep your hips nice and square to the floor. Keep the back knee down. And we're just going to lift up that back ankle. Some of you might not be able to lift that leg up completely. That's totally fine, as long as you can feel the contraction happening in your glutes. We're going to go 5 times. Coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax it down. We're going to come back up to sitting, pop the hands behind the back, and we're going to face that back knee. And then we're going to push the knee down towards the ground. So we've got the right knee pushing down, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And this time we're just going to pivot on the right foot. Keep this left knee down where it is, and we're just going to lift up the right. We're trying to keep everything still. The only thing you want to be moving is that back hip. And we're going to do 2 more. 1, 2. Relax it down, and then we're just going to switch the legs over towards the right, keeping the knees nice and separate. Sitting up facing the right knee this time, again adjusting the legs if you need to, making sure they're in a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to work on internal rotation of the right leg. So hands either side of that front leg, focus on lifting up this ankle off the floor. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. Pop the hands in front of the right knee. Tilt the chest forward slightly. Again, we're going to make sure the hips are nice and still, keeping the left knee down. We're just going to lift up that left ankle, contracting the glute in the top. So we're going to go 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the ankle down, hands behind the lower back, facing the left knee this time. So we're going to push the left knee down towards the ground. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Keeping the right knee where it is, we're going to pivot on the left ankle, bringing the left knee up as high as we can, and then dropping it back down. We're going to go for 5 again. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Relax the knee down. We're just going to come up to sitting, bring the knees back to centre. Now we're going to stretch the legs out nice and straight in a straddle position. We're going to pop the hands onto the insides of the legs. When you're in this position, I want you to focus on keeping the quads nice and tense. You really want to try and straighten your legs as much as you can. And we're also going to pull the toes back towards us, so the toes are pointing just behind us. We're going to make baby steps forwards. Doesn't matter if you come forward a lot or a little bit, it's wherever's comfortable for you. So when you get into that bottom position, as you inhale, I want you to relax. So try and push yourself away from the floor, give yourself some room to breathe. And then as you exhale, we're really going to try and straighten the legs, pulling yourself down with your core. So trying to bring 2 points together, so trying to bring our legs and our core together. Inhale, relax, push yourself away from the floor. Exhale, squeeze. Really straighten the legs. Really pull yourself down with your stomach. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And we're going to start making our way back up to sitting, slowly taking steps in. Scoop up behind the knees. We're going to bring the knees together. Give them a little bit of a hug. Then we're going to roll onto our backs, keeping the knees nice and close to the chest. I hope you can still see. So keeping the knees nice and tight to the chest, we're just going to rock the knees backwards and forwards, nice and gentle. And we're just going to rock them side to side. We're going to do a circle going left and a circle going right. We're going to grab hold of the left knee, interlock fingers, pulling the left knee towards the chest, just off centre, so you're not completely on the chest, it's just off the centre. And then we're slowly going to straighten out that right leg, dropping it down towards the ground, and finally relaxing it on the floor. So you want to keep your toes pulled back towards you on the bottom leg, and we're going to feel like we're pushing our heel away from this top knee. Nice big breath into the belly. We're going to lift that bottom leg, and then we're slowly going to bring it back into the chest. We're going to go again, leading with the heel, straighten up the leg, slowly lowering it down towards the ground. And relax the butt. Big breath into the belly. And then we're slowly going to bring that leg up, bringing it back in towards the chest. So we're going to grab the hands onto the right knee, pulling the right knee off centre into the chest. Taking the left leg straight, slowly lowering it down towards the ground. And relaxing. Again, feeling like you're pushing your heel, your left heel, and your right knee away from each other. Big breath into the belly. Slowly going to lift that leg back in. And we're going to go again, straighten the leg, lowering it down nice and slow. And relaxing, bottom position. Slowly bringing that leg back up, meeting the knees together. Give them a little squeeze, give them a little hug. And then we're going to plant the feet on the floor. So I want your feet touching. And then we're slowly going to drop the knees separate. Your knees should be either side. Keeping your feet together. We're going to hold this for 2 breaths. As you draw your inhale, we're going to count it for 4 seconds. Really take your time to fill up your lungs, fill up your belly. And then the same on the exhale. As you exhale, you count to 4. We're going to do 1 more breath. And then we're going to bring the knees together. This time we're going to separate the feet. So our knees are touching, our feet are separate, just outside hip width. We're going to take a breath here. Keeping your feet where they are, we're just going to separate both knees. And then we're going to drop both knees down to the left, so our legs should be in a zigzag position. Just let the weight of your knees pull yourself into the stretch. We're just going to think about pushing the right knee down towards the ground, stretching the hip flexor on the right leg and the quad. 3, 2, 1. Relax, keep your knees where they are. And we're going to go again, push the right knee down towards the ground. 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring the knees up, back to centre. We're going to drop them over towards the right. Again, just let your legs fall into whatever position is comfortable. And then we're going to push the left knee down in towards the ground this time. 3, 2, 1. Relax, keep your knees where they are. And one more time, pushing the left knee down. 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring the knees back to centre. We're going to bring both knees into the chest, give them a hug. We're going to roll completely onto our left. And then we're going to try and roll the right shoulder onto the floor the other side, twisting from the belly button. We're going to hold this for 2 breaths. Again, try and count in your head, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. We're going to roll the shoulder back forward, and then we're going to roll back onto our backs, keeping our knees together, and then we're going to roll onto the floor on the right side. Slowly rolling the left shoulder onto the floor the other side, twisting from the belly button. Again, we're going to hold for 2 breaths. Rolling the shoulder back over, bringing the knees in, we're going to roll onto our backs. We're just going to take the hands just behind the backs of the knees. And then we're just going to rock ourselves back up to sitting. You're done, guys. Thank you for coming. Well done.